Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw. I'm here with a very familiar face, Zane Kerby, who's president and CEO of the American Society of Travel Advisors, ASTA. We're here in Chicago at the Hyatt and actually ASTA's global convention. And we're just last day, actually. We're just wrapping up. But we're going to talk to Zane about this convention, what the future holds for ASTA and its members, and what's going to happen next year. And you'll hear all about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Zane, the last time we met and we talked, we were actually in Dubrovnik in Croatia, and it was a great event, a wonderful event. Tell me a little bit about this event. How many people are attending, and really, do you consider you had a good success with this?
Well, first, thanks for having me, James. It's always good to see you, and thanks for being here in Chicago. I know this is certainly traveling under difficult circumstances. Right now, the travel system is not quite what we would hope it to be, just in terms of airlines and schedules and things of that nature. But the ASTA Global Convention has been a wonderful gathering so far. We have more travel advisors here than we had in 2019 in Fort Lauderdale.
So how many do you have?
About 550 travel advisors joined us this year, and a total of attendance of just under 1,000 total attendees. That includes exhibitors and speakers and things like that. But really happy with the travel advisors who've come. Generally, you can measure things in lots of different ways, but the way I look at it and the way that what I'm really pleased about is that so many people have come here with such a positive attitude. It's been an extraordinarily challenging 18 months. Everyone knows that. But the people who are here are dedicated to the craft, they're dedicated to their business, and they're dedicated to the industry. And because of that, it's been a really positive 2 days.
No, and I agree. It's really been, everybody's just happy to be back together again. I think you're only about the second major travel agency event, and you both had about equal in number of attendance, and it's been amazing. Let's talk a little bit about, last year ASTA warned that 70% or more of its members could be out of business without government relief and government assistance. How did ASTA get your members through this crisis, and do you think we've emerged well?
Well, I think we're definitely still in the woods. We because of the uneven nature of how travel has rebounded, and our members are, many of our members' businesses are focused and rely on international travel, and they rely on cruising. And both of those things, while there's some nascent recovery there, it's still not where it needs to be. So ASTA did, I think, ASTA did really great work last year and continues into this year in terms of helping bridge our members to that better future. Did things like help our members to understand the government programs that were available to them.
Things like a PPP and the SBA loans, things like that.
SBA loans, PPP, unemployment insurance for our independent contractor members. That, I think, was one of the most impressive wins, is that a program that they had not paid into, they suddenly became available to them, because independent contractors don't pay into the taxes that provide for unemployment insurance, but they were made available to them, which was, I think, a massive win. And right now, but our work continues today. Obviously,
well, that's a good question. I mean, what remains to be done this year to keep your members solvent as we head forward? I know there are a few things. We keep hoping there's going to be another round of some kind of relief. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. We have certain things in the infrastructure bill that are not as friendly to your members, such as the earned income tax credit, which was a good benefit to a lot of larger agencies. What remains to be done for us?
Yeah, that's just it. We either need to get specific relief, like something that we've been pushing for hard, which is the SAVE Act that has now 26 co-sponsors in the House. So we either need to get specific industry relief like the SAVE Act, or we need to get more generalized relief like, to your point, the restoration of the ERTC, the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And if we can get one of those two wins by the end of the year, that's really been our laser focus. Mm-hmm. And the legislative process has been challenging, and the legislators are not unlike many consumers and travel advisors. There's a lot of COVID fatigue out there, and especially as people are trying to, they do see some headlines from some sectors that would suggest that the pandemic is over. It's not over. It's not over for our members. It's not over for our business, and we have to continually remind them of that. Otherwise, we're going to get lumped in with, isn't everything recovering along evenly so nicely.
Well, that's the joy. We all kind of we're sort of thinks, oh yeah, it's over. We're going to just emerge from this, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And one area that your members sell a lot of, as you mentioned, is cruising. And you've been actually pretty outspoken in the last year in support of getting cruising restarted. Looking at what the CDC is doing and do you think what remains there to be done? I mean, we have a lot of legal cases down in Florida in terms of Florida suing the CDC, Norwegian suing Florida, a lot of things, but yet cruising seems to be restarting despite all this.
That's right. It has restarted, and we're in full support of limiting the CDC's power to regulate any industry, especially ours. Right. And so we did enjoin ourselves to the lawsuit. We're very happy that
you had Texas come in too.
Texas did, yes. Texas did enjoin themselves to the lawsuit as well. So this certainly will grind the sort of the legislative or legal process to go even more slowly than it is right now. The main thing to remember here, though, is that ships are allowed back in the water. That individual cruise operators are going to determine what percentage and what capacity they're going to sail at, and whether or not they're going to mandate vaccines. Those are all individual decisions that are going to be made by those particular private businesses or publicly traded companies.
And most of them have decided they want fully vaxxed ships, crew, and guests, right?
They have. The good thing too is that the government has actually appealed the judge's ruling, but they've done it in the slowest possible way. So they didn't ask for injunctive relief. They didn't ask for a fast track decision. It's almost a tacit admission that they have a weak case and that they're going to lose. So
meanwhile, cruising, the ships are sailing.
Ships are sailing anyway. So we do feel, we feel really grateful that Governor DeSantis brought this issue forward and spurred the CDC into action. We're grateful for Peter Labasso, our attorney, who wrote a wonderful amicus brief to show that the economic harm that was caused by that decision wasn't contained to Florida, but it was spread all over the United States because it affected travel advisors everywhere.
It certainly did. Now, for the remainder of this year and into 22, what is ASTA going to focus on? What initiatives are you really going to really ramp up?
Yeah, there are a couple things that the pandemic has also laid bare. One of them is that we need better coordination with our international partners. It's really important that we get travel between Mexico, Canada, the United States, the Caribbean, Western Europe started. And so we need to make sure that messages that we are sending to our public health officials here are also being used and parroted by our organizations overseas, so that talk to their respective governments, so that we can all be singing from the same song sheet. So better, more integrated messaging and communication with our sister organizations around the world, specifically in those destinations. And then I think the main thing is we got to get our members we got to get that bridge to the future. That means specific relief until such time as government officials can rescind some of the restrictions that depress demand. Those are the main things we have to do. No,
and absolutely. And we were all both at the Advocacy dinner last night, where you got a lot of support from Royal Caribbean for almost $200,000 in support for ASTA, and then for a lot of other agency groups and other participants really, recognize the need for advocacy for ASTA to have that funding.
Really, really humbling last night in a year like this. For Royal Caribbean to make a super generous, for a Royal Caribbean group, to make a six-figure contribution to ASTA's advocacy efforts is extraordinary. And then for Richard Fain to match that contribution personally was just unbelievable.
Maybe you should give more Hall of Fame, what do they call it? Lifetime Achievement Awards, and who knows what'll happen.
Well, we gave that award to Richard because it was so well deserved. I mean, he has treated travel advisors, and Royal Caribbean Group has treated travel advisors as partners forever. So that was not an award, that was a recognition.
And absolutely, it was a well-deserved recognition, but Richard had the icing in the cake when he said, I'm going to match what my own firm just gave. So it's about $200,000 that came. And I believe Vicki Freed, who was also there, has been giving on her own as well. So.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary night, and Richard just made it all the more extraordinary.
Now, what's ahead for the rest of this year and into next year in terms of events that you're going to be holding? Because obviously you've now had this year 2 pretty successful events, Destination Expo and obviously here at the ASTA Global Convention. What are you going to be doing next?
Yeah, so right before events, I would love to just chat with you. Just tell your members too. We feel like finding and educating the next generation of travel advisors is an important thing to do. We started we launched our roadmap to becoming a travel advisor course about 3 months ago. We have a couple hundred people who are already taking it online. And Wake Tech Community College, it's North Carolina's largest college, 70,000 students they have. They're actually offering this course taught by an ASTA travel advisor online this fall.
Well, we could have 70,000 new travel agents.
I'd like that too. We'll take it. That's just a really important initiative for us to do. The event schedule is really heavy in the fall. We're going to definitely mandate vaccinations to attend ASTA events.
We have one in Savannah, right?
Showcase in Savannah. We have a premium meeting in Austin, and we have smaller events around the world. We have sort of a Dracula's Castle Halloween event on October 31st, and we have fall events in Tuscany. What I'm really excited about, though, is a River Cruise Expo next March 16th.
We're all looking forward to that in Budapest. Right?
Absolutely. Right after that, we're going to have a really special event. We're calling it the Travel Masters at St. Andrews, and we actually have we're going to have a really high-end golf event next year.
How's your golf?
Terrible. I'm a terrible golfer, but I'm enthusiastic.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward to the River Cruise expedition. I would be remiss if I didn't note the contribution of the late Bob Doyle, who really has helped organize that event, helped organize Croatia. Sadly, Bob passed away very recently, and he really was one of your mainstays in this organization.
Yeah, Bob's absence will be felt for years to come, and it was so sudden. To your point, the River Cruise Expo was completely his brainchild, and he used all of his contacts and his reputation to bring that into being, and we just couldn't be prouder to carry on his legacy by putting on the best show we can.
Well, you and I were both in Croatia, and I was looking forward to have a few beers here with Bob. Sadly, he won't be here, but we'll, in his memory, when we all hopefully show up at the River Cruise, we'll have to think of him once again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, and of course, we got to look at next year. Where are you going to be for ASTA Global Convention next year?
Yeah, in the beautiful city of San Francisco. We can't wait next August, so we'd love for any and all of your viewers to join us there. The ASTA Global Convention is a really unique event where you can partner with, hear from, learn from all of your colleagues from a variety of consortia, and also we have some great fun keynote speakers as well.
Well, Zane, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. Always great to get, whether we're in Dubrovnik or Chicago or Budapest, it looks like ASTA definitely is back. It's proven to be more essential than ever. Why is it takes a crisis? But it's not that we would have wanted any of this, but it is amazing how much you have accomplished with ASTA, with your members in the last year, and we're looking forward to much more to come in the next year.
You're very kind, James. But we have an incredible team at ASTA. I just feel really lucky to go to work. We have 26 staff members, but we feel much larger, I think, because of the dedication that each staff member brings towards their job and towards the team.
Well, hopefully I'll see you at the next event. This has been a great event. I've only missed one ASTA in 31 years. So this has been great to come back. I mean, obviously we all missed it last year, but we did have the virtual one. But it's great to be back here live again with you again.
It's great to see you, and let's not make missing ASTA a habit. We want you here every time. Thanks, James.
I will be here. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.